Hi, my name is Dave Nienaber. I am a certified financial planner and recovering CPA. I'm a partner at Foster & Motley here in Cincinnati, a locally owned wealth management firm that provides independent and objective advice to doctors, executives, and business owners. Today, I offer up a public service announcement that's geared towards young doctors. The goal of this presentation is to help you make better financial decisions so that your money works just as hard as you are working to earn it. This is a sales pitch free presentation, so please take a deep breath. I'm not here to sell you an annuity. More simply, my goal is to help you focus on making the best financial decisions as soon as possible. As doctors, you are and will continue to be crazy busy. Your time is scarce, and you will seek out pros to help leverage your time. As you search for a financial pro, you can make sure you're not taken advantage of by asking these 6 questions. There are 2 main groups of financial advisors. There are broker-dealers, who tend to be paid commissions on products sold, and registered investment advisors, who are paid directly for advice given. Both types of advisors will have common titles such as wealth advisor, financial planner, or portfolio manager. You can't rely just on the business card. You have to dig deeper. The key difference is that registered investment advisors are legally required to put their clients' best interest first. As doctors, it's only natural for you to think in your patient's best interest first. I'm sure you can't fathom the idea of being employed by, say, a pharmaceutical company and only being able to fix your patient's needs with products produced by that company. Well, such conflicts can and do exist in the financial advice world. By asking these 6 questions, you will ensure that you're working with an advisor that puts your interest first. I start working with most doctors in their 40s or 50s. Most have had a financial representative or insurance agent that has helped them in their younger years, but they eventually get to a point where their wealth has grown and they start to wonder if their advisor has all the tools and knowledge they need for a successful career change, for retirement, or some other major goal. For some, they simply get concerned by how pushy their advisor becomes as their wealth grows. Oftentimes, when I meet with clients for the first time, it can sound like a confessional. A client will explain that, well, I bought this policy when we were married from a fraternity friend of mine, and then we moved and I bought an annuity from a person I met at my church, and then I met a different person and they helped me set up 529 savings accounts for our kids' college funds. What's typically lacking is a comprehensive plan. And this makes sense because their previous advisors were paid commissions on the products they bought. They were not being incentivized to provide advice for the most efficient wealth building strategies based on their unique goals. When considering the purchase of financial products, keep a couple simple rules in mind. First and most important, trust your instincts. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Another rule of thumb is to look at how many pages it takes to explain the product. A client of mine taught me the THUD test. Yes, I know, that's a very technical term. His theory is that if you take a proposal, drop it from your shoulders, and it makes a thud, then it's not for him. He goes on to explain that more work is required because the proposal must not be clear, concise, and therefore not well thought out. If you're considering buying a product that requires hundreds of pages of disclosure, ask yourself why it takes so many pages to describe the product. Do they need all of those pages to tell you how great it would be for you? Typically, the best financial decisions make for pretty boring cocktail discussions. Like most successes in life, good financial decisions can simply be boiled down to having a disciplined process and sticking to it. Aside from purchasing products rather than buying advice, the other big issue we see with most doctors is increasing their standard of living as they earn more. We can certainly understand when you've been through a lot of school and you're carrying debt and all of a sudden you start making really good money, you can see it as, okay, this is my time to live the life I envisioned 10, 15 years ago when I set out on this career path. The way we would urge you to look at that increased income that you are receiving or will start to receive is just the order in which dollars go out. Generally, most people look at taxes have to come off the top, then you spend, and then you save what's ever left. The problem with this approach is that very little, if anything, can be left for the savings because, of course, you'll find plenty of ways to spend. So what we encourage all clients to do, regardless of age, is to look at the dollars coming in and think of them as taxes, savings, then spending. And if you do it in this order, it'll help keep your spending in check while hopefully saving as much as you can. You know, one of the most common questions we hear as financial advisors is, can I take another job? Can I retire? Essentially, can my money support me to do something else? And the single biggest factor in answering that question is, well, how much are you spending? And as spending continues to increase, it also increases the asset base that you need to have that financial freedom to go after another job and to one day retire. Okay, Dave, I get it. I need a plan, but where do I start? There are two basic documents everyone needs to understand their financial situation. The first is a net worth statement. Most simply, you start by listing things you own, things like your checking account, savings account, employer retirement plan, and personal assets like a car or a house. Next, you list things that you owe, like student loans, car loans, mortgage, and hopefully no credit card debt, but if you have it, list it. It would also be helpful to include key terms, like the interest rate on your debt. This will help you determine which debt is costing you the most so you can first focus on paying this debt down. Next, create a cash flow statement. Start by listing your sources of income, including your salary, interest and dividends from investment accounts, and any other sources of cash that you have. Next, list out where your cash goes using 3 buckets. Start with taxes, including income taxes for federal, state, and local. Also include employment taxes like Social Security and Medicare. Next, list your savings bucket. This will include things like your savings account, contribution to employee retirement plans like your 403B or 401k, and also consider your checking account. If your checking account has increased by, say, $5,000 over the last year, well, this represents savings too, and list it in this bucket. The last bucket is your spending. The easiest way to determine this is to take your income minus taxes and minus savings. The difference simply equals your spending. You could always get to a more exact figure about your spending by using an online resource like mint.com, but this method will efficiently help you understand how much you're spending at a high level. For most people, it's significantly more than they would have thought. Together, these documents, your net worth statement and cash flow statement, will become more insightful over time. You'll be able to compare your net worth over time, and you'll determine where your future salary increases go. Ultimately, these documents will help you determine if you are saving more or just spending more. Two major risks facing young professionals are disability and death. Insurance allows a large number of people, all of whom have these risks, to pool their premiums together and pay the small number of people who experience one of these events. Life insurance can simply be an amount your beneficiaries are paid at your death, called term insurance, or it can be more complex and have an investment component to it. Different names for these policies are whole life, variable life, etc. Term insurance is much less expensive. Your policy only has a value if you die, otherwise you don't get any return on your money. It's a lot like homeowners insurance. You hope you never use it. Whole life or variable life policies have more bells and whistles, including a cash value that can be invested. Investment options within life insurance products tend to be expensive, so do your homework before buying anything above and beyond term insurance. Disability is an underappreciated risk. Not only do you lose your income for a period of time, but your expenses likely increase while you rehab and require services like yard work that you previously did yourself. It's important to fully understand the terms of disability insurance, including the occupation definition used by your policy. The best disability policies come with a own occupation definition, meaning the insurance will pay if you are unable to do your own occupation. For instance, if you're a brain surgeon unable to do brain surgery, your policy will pay. Alternatively, if the policy uses any occupation definition, you may be forced to teach or do some other job even if you earn less money. There are many more intricacies to disability insurance, so it's important that you understand the policy you purchase. Life and disability insurance can be purchased through a group plan at most employers or through an agent. It's generally most cost effective to start with your employer's group plan and then seek an insurance agent if you require additional coverage above and beyond what's available through your employer's plan. Financial freedom cannot be purchased in a single investment product. It won't occur by repeatedly buying the right stock at the right time and selling it at the right time. Financial freedom will come from a lot of little steps that add up over time, and some of these most important steps are your first steps. Ultimately, discipline is the most important ingredient. Discipline is more likely to occur when you develop a plan, monitor your plan, and make changes as your goals and circumstances change. In closing, the financial world is filled with noise, a lot of which only creates confusion, and some of which is not even in your own best interest. This noise bombards you every day, from colleagues, friends, the news, etc. I hope that this presentation will empower you to be a better consumer of financial products and advice. When in doubt, start with the simple solution and add complexity very carefully. I appreciate you listening to this public service announcement. My contact information is included with this final slide, so please contact me with any questions. Thank you.